Another item on our checklist that we want to look through as we get closer to the end of the year is what's the cost of living adjustment going to be for Social Security? We look into our Social Security and each year it has an adjustment to it. So each year at the end of the year, they just came out with the one for 2024. Your Social Security is going to go up by 3.2% next year. So if you're getting, $1,000, you're going to get $1,032. So that's what it's going to be. It's going to give you a 3.2% increase in the Social Security amount that you're going to be able to get. And this happens each year. So as we get closer to the end of the year, this is something that you want to keep an eye on. Know how much your Social Security is going to be impacted, is going to go up for the following year. You also want to look into, well, what about your Medicare? Is that being taken out of your Social Security? Are you on Medicare yet? Or are you still working and maybe you're not on it? So this is something that you want to look into when it comes to the end of the year, what's going on with your Medicare, what's going on with the Social Security, and making sure that that's all set up properly for you. So next in our retirement checklist, as we're getting to the end of the year, we want to make sure that our beneficiaries are in order, that everything on our accounts, should something happen to us, goes to the right people. We want to make sure our estate planning is all set up properly, that there's no surprises. And when you're working with a Better Way Financial, we're making sure that all of your accounts have named beneficiaries on them. A lot of times what we see, however, is with your bank accounts and things like that we don't manage, there's usually not a beneficiary named on there. You want to make sure that if you have a bank account when you set that up, you make sure that there is a named beneficiary. Otherwise, that asset could go through probate. And if it goes through probate, then there's probate costs associated. It has to go through an attorney before it can get to your named beneficiaries. Save your beneficiaries the hassle and get a named beneficiary on the bank accounts. It's the same thing with a home. A lot of people own a home outright or they own it with their spouse. And that's a wonderful thing. But the problem is that when you pass away, if you're trying to distribute that to your children or to your beneficiaries, what happens is it goes through probate because there's no named beneficiary on the home. The way to circumvent that is to get a trust set up where you can have the trust own the home and then have the children as the beneficiaries so that when you pass away, the home will go just right to your beneficiaries. They don't have to pay the cost of probate as well. So it's important as we're getting to the end of the year that you're looking into, where are my beneficiaries at? Do I have my trust set up? Do I have my wills set up? A lot of people don't have wills set up. And it's something that is super important because if you don't have a will set up, you're not going to be the one deciding where your assets go when you pass away. That'll be the government who's making that decision, and you don't want them to decide where your assets go. Another thing on our retirement checklist, as we're getting closer to the end of the year, something we may have been kicking down the road, something we might have said, I don't really want to do this right now, is long-term care, is planning for long-term care. Should something happen that you have to go into a nursing home or that you have to need home health care, that can be very expensive. That can be very costly to your retirement portfolio, to the money that you've saved up over your lifetime and accumulated. So this is something that we want to pay attention to. We want to make sure you have the coverages in place. So how do we do that? As we look at towards the end of the year, we see things from our clients. We see long-term care statements. We see life insurance with long-term care protections inside of it. We see annuities with income rider doublers for long-term care. So something you want to have planned. You want to have a plan in place to be able to provide you additional income should you be in a position that you cannot do the activities of daily living. Should you not be able to, do the things that you're able to do now, you want to make sure that you have the protections in place so that your portfolio is not getting drained or going to a nursing home. You don't want that to happen. You want to make sure that you're protected, you have the long-term care protection, and have it set up for you. So, as we get to the end of the year, as we're looking at our house saying, "Oh man, I got to change this. That garage, it needs some work. I need to clean it up. I need to make sure that it's looking spiffy. I might have some family members coming over for Christmas and I want to make sure that my house is looking clean, everything's looking good." It's the same thing with your finances. You want to make sure you have a financial cleanup. Make sure everything is set up the right way. Check into for next year. Am I going to be taking my RMDs? What is that looking like? Check into, am I doing Roth conversions? What does that look like? Do I have my taxes in order? Everything that you want to make sure you have going right for you. It is important to take inventory and look into, where am I at with my investments? Where is everything at? Do I have the insurance I need? Do I have the protections in place in my portfolio that I need? So as you're getting into the end of the year, as you're starting to maybe have some guests over, do some of the decorating for Christmas and holidays and things like that, you want to make sure that your finances are also in order and that you take inventory there and have them set up so that you don't have to worry about it later on. So, culminating our retirement checklist for everything that you want to get done before the end of the year, we know that it can be overwhelming. There is a lot that we went over, there's a lot to think about. When it comes to, what do I need to get done by the end of the year? What do I want to get done so that I don't have to worry about this as much next year and all my affairs are in order? And that is why there are so many benefits to working with a financial planner, meeting with a financial professional who's going to be able to help you. Did you look into this? Did you look into your tax situation? Maybe we could do some things to lower your tax bill. Did we look into the investment situation? Do you know the risk that you have associated with your investments? Did you look into your income situation? Okay, we're getting our social security, we're getting our pension, but we still need more income. Where is that money going to come from? You want to meet with a financial professional who's going to be able to help you put all of your ducks in a row and get everything all set up for you the proper way.